Take 10.
Push the button, light it all up.
Hi boys and girls. I hope Alden and me are watching our watching special today. We've got a great episode planned for you. But first, Uncle John needs to change into something a little more comfortable.
But first, boys and girls, we have to take care of the big house, which means taking care of our garden that Pat Smith so generously planted for us. He's a veteran winterover, so he knows about planting gardens. We have here cilantro, household onions, some houseplants, more cilantro, lettuce, and these little babies are garlic. Let me give these a quick watering. There's basil in the back too, which is key. Now that we have that done, we're going to have some fun today in the big house and go cooking with Pat.
You know what you're doing?
I know what we're doing. Yes, we're cooking dinner. And of course, when you cook dinner, to have a successful dinner, you got to have a recipe and a book to read the recipe out of. So I've picked out a few books here, and from what I have here, there are some good recipes in here. Recipes I think we can all enjoy. That's a pretty complicated one. We may have to find one that's a little easier to deal with. If you want to follow me, we're going to go outside and find some food.
So Pat, how much of your day do you figure you spend putting on and taking off your clothes?
Putting on and taking off clothes. Well, I suppose when I go for a ski, that adds on to that process. Because if I was to lay out all my clothes, it would go from probably here to 40 feet back with 3 pairs of long johns, a pair of wind pants, 5 shirts, coat, 2 pair of gloves, 2 pair of socks, boots, goggles, neck gaiter, hat, and a rubber mask, and I guess that's enough. Anyway, we'll go get some food now. Secret to every recipe, of course, is fresh food.
Let's get down here into the freezer trench. We just built this, Toby and Geoff and Pat just built this new door because it's getting so drifted in. Every time we had to go get food, we had to shovel out the door, which used to lay flat, which was a pretty good solution for a while because the wind would drift it, just blow flat across it. But nowadays it's not so fun. So, okay. I was going to do cooking with Pat, have an expedition down to here and show you guys the steel. One of the cooler things about these trenches, I don't know if you can see it very well, but the snow crystals. This one was kind of rebuilt recently, so it's not so good. You can see here, I don't know, we're down not too deep, a couple feet. This is when the trench was originally built. That's an aircraft pallet. that we use on the C-130s. So they just put some timbers in the snow. They built the trench, put some timbers down, and then laid aircraft pallets across the top of it for the roof. Man, I hope it's filming better than it's showing up in my screen. But yeah, we have lots of food. Here's a whole shelf full of nothing but nuts, it looks like. We got lots of oats. There's other stuff too back in there. Basically, yeah, years worth of food, and then some. So don't worry, we're certainly not going to starve up here.
As I mentioned earlier, the secret to every recipe is fresh ingredients. And that's what we have here. Fresh from the freezer.
So Pat, what do you have here?
Well, those are fresh mashed potatoes.
Fresh mashed potatoes, I love it.
These, we just cut off the cow a couple days ago and had them packaged up. So, fresh frozen meat.
Excellent. We do, however, have some fresh garlic remaining.
So, not everything is frozen.
How many weeks are we do it here?
We're at least 6-7 weeks in. So we're actually doing pretty well. We have lettuce, cabbage, potatoes, onions, garlic. Anything else? Got
I
our
don't know about
garden.
that. I'm questioning the lettuce.
Well,
It's pretty optimistic. we have what, a head of lettuce that yields a leaf, maybe?
well, it's a little desiccated on the outside, but the inside has some reward sometimes.
Hey, look, a zucchini.
We have a zucchini. Not a very pleasant looking zucchini.
Oh, shoot! It's food! Snack! I broke one. No! Oh. Said something about because I don't think this recipe custard. I don't think it cooks it. But something with raw. Oh, okay. I don't understand. You just might know. But that's what I got. Oh my. Ugh.
So that's egg yolks and what in there? The sugar?
Sugar.
So you mix that together, put that in with the, what does it say to do with the egg whites?
Egg whites you just beat with half
Let me
cup
see if we can do like a moonlight.
until light. Then it says combine the two. I think we can seal the hot tub with this.
Only if Americans knew what's in their eggnog.
Oh my god. Eggnog from scratch.
Jesus.
I'm sure I want to mess up the alcohol with this thing.
I feel it now inside me. Never once did you deny me. Doing that stuff that you do. Knocking me out with your voodoo.
I know what'll make it taste better.
You drive me crazy with that.
Can be omitted, but you're not going to do that, are you?
Never thought I'd have to measure whiskey out. Toby's crying over there. It's a little light on the whiskey. I can't drive a snowmobile now just from smelling it. It's just for good measure.
Okay, so we've seen the kitchen for the most part, and we're in the big house still. So now I just want to give you a quick run around of here, maybe if we have time, we'll get over the greenhouse and the little house. I think the shop's coming up at some point. Lots to see and do, but this is the scullery. Coming over here, we have a most important collection of goods. I'm looking for, here it is. Don't you worry, we'll be getting our James on. So you guys have a good one. We'll be having it right there with you. Moving over, this is a cabinet with medical goods, shelf with medical goods, oxygen tank for New Year's Day. This is pretty much our lounge here. Quite a collection from over the years of videos. And our latest and greatest addition to the big house for the holidays, courtesy of Toby and Geoff. A very nice Christmas tree. Okay, well, we've seen the making of eggnog. We've seen runs to the freezer. Pat cooking away. We're gonna visit with our friend Toby Wood here and see what he does to keep this place running as smoothly as it does.
All right, welcome to the Summit Camp office. This is the comms area. This is the VHF or HF that we use to call comms to Kanger and Vico Sunday. This is Summit Camp. How copy?
Summit Camp, this is Vico Sunday. I can hear you loud and clear.
This is the VHF that we use for camp. This is the air band that we use to talk to airplanes when they come into our air zone. Otherwise, we transfer through the VHF to Kanger. This is the PELX, which if all the comms go down, it sends satellite signal, and we can do pretty primitive emailing. Iridium phone, which is a satellite phone. Right now it doesn't work though because the satellites are too far below the horizon. This is the fax machine, and this is the regular phone. And the phones and the internet are all transferred through the VSAT box here. And this is the VSAT box. This controls all the comms on station and the FTP site, the Summit Camp server, our phones, our internet service, and it is directly linked to the satellite dish on the top, which is the big dot.
So now that we've seen the big house, which is the center and hub of activity, we're going to take a walk outside, and I'm going to give you a camp tour of the whole lay of the land.
Let's see, let me get a little situated here. I'm going to try and take you for a walk around camp. It's winter solstice, December 21st. It's damn cold out. It's minus 60 today. I've already done the dailies, which is running around to all the towers and everything, but I didn't figure I'd take you along on that journey because it's not too exciting. But I might run you out to the science trench. And of course, I'll just kind of keep on going here and see how much footage we can get before the camera freezes up. That's the generator, and that's the greenhouse. With the moon there in the background. Pretty nice today. Storage firm behind that, and the little house beyond that. We're looking east now, moving to the south. You can see the Swiss tower there. It's a 36 meter tower now. It was 50 meters. The winter we were unmanned up here, it fell down. They've rebuilt it to 36 meters, and it's going to be getting rebuilt to 50 meters this winter, or this summer, I'm sorry. And then you can see we're not sampling today because the winds are out of the north, and that generator exhaust plume is going right down towards the science tower, which is discouraging, but that happens once in a while. But there's the bright sun. Of course, the sun is well below the horizon, but that's what we're getting of it for today. We'll have about an hour or 2 hours of this kind of light. And then further off, down there is the science tower, and that little hatchway on the left there is the entryway down to the bottom to the science trench. There's some other instruments which we may get over to right there, operated by the Swiss. Now we're looking to the southwest, coming around. There's our flag line for stormy conditions between all the buildings. We have those when you can't see. It's nice, it's not too windy. You hear a little bit of wind there. But that's the big house over there. The big ball on top is the satellite communications dish. And you see each of the buildings have towers. Those are radios and for weather instrumentation. So we can communicate and just keep in touch. All the buildings are linked with remote wireless. So the wireless is fired off between each of those towers. So we have internet access throughout the camp via that satellite connection right there in that ball. That building up there is an experiment run by the Germans. It's called RAMIS, Radiative Atmospheric Measurements at Summit. It's not running right now for the winter. Hopefully it will come back on this summer. And then there we are back to the Tucker Snowcat, the D6 bulldozer, an emergency standby generator, and then back around to the north to the generator. So let's see. Let's walk over to the generator. That's kind of an interesting spot. Okay. It's gonna be loud when we walk in here. These are the generators. Okay, it's gonna be loud. I probably won't even bother to talk. Oh shit. Warm too. We may fog up the camera. Excuse my language there, little nephews. Don't listen to your uncle. That's the generator module. Let's see. The farm fuel tank there. It's enclosed in a soundproof room, and it's also temperature controlled. It's pretty loud nonetheless. You come through this door. And this is the shop. So you can see we have a couple of skidoos that we keep warm. That's for science and emergency and just any general use. This thing here we call the pig. So we melt snow in that water melter. We bring snow from we have a snow mine. We bring snow in here and we melt it using waste heat off of the generators. That's our fresh water supply. And then once it's all melted, there's a pump in that heated box in the back, and it pumps water, 200 gallons, into the pig. The pig then gets pulled by a snowmobile, or during the winter we've been using the 933, which we're also keeping warm in here. It gets pulled and transferred over to the big house. Bringing the water pig in. It's 55 below and blowing 20 knots today. Normally we just drive in forward around the side of the big house here that I'll show you in a minute. But today there's too much drifting at the other end, so Pat's backing it in. So what you're seeing there is the 933 and the water pig. A heated box on the back of it that has a pump in it. So they're there now. Now Toby's gonna attach the hose. First he'll plug in the box for the pump and everything. And then we keep the hose inside the big house where it stays warm. And there's a little outlet right down there where that light just came on where Toby is. There's an outlet and there's also a water hookup down there. Kind of a mean one today, December 22nd. It's about noon right now. So you can see how stiff that hose gets just instantly as soon as it comes out of here. electrical cables and hoses, all kind of things just instantly get really stiff. It makes things very difficult. So everything's been set. They're all open. They'll turn on the pump now. Now you're looking at the water tank. The water tank pumps directly into the big house via this line, piece of hosing here, and this outlet connection here. This is the big house. I'm up on a snowbank. But you're looking down along the side of the big house. And just to show you what the problem was, that the snow has drifted in down there. It's too steep. You can see this big house was originally built 15 feet in the air. Then it was lifted another 15 feet in 1999. So, it's challenging.
What are we doing now?
We're gonna walk back to the water room, which I was outside earlier getting some footage on the outside, but the camera froze up on the way in, so this is an after the fact thing. Basically everything's identical except you won't see the water actually flowing into the tank. But this is our water tank. It holds, I think, about 450 gallons. It's kind of the utility room. We have the furnace back here, and just miscellaneous tools. There's a hot water heater. The water back here, everything has to be pumped to give us pressure. So all the buildings have water pumps in them to give us pressure. The main electric lines come in back here. But basically this line here goes out to the spigot that is on the outside of the building where we hook the water pig directly up to. And then the pump that's on the sled for the water, on the water transfer sled, actually pumps water up, over, and down into here. And you can see we have marked 1 pig, 2 pigs. And that's it. It's a pretty simple system.
So you can see we have a pretty well stacked shop here. All the tools you could ever want. Got a lot of power tools, basically just about everything you could need. Welders, drills, acetylene torches, table saws, TIG welder there in the back. Again, the 933. Lots of extra equipment here. Hey folks, we're live again. Can you give us another shot? Here's Pat. Hey Pat.
But I'm smiling.
He's on his way out for a ski. Winter solstice ride. Pat's our mechanic. He keeps everything happy and keeps us happy. We wouldn't be doing too well up here without him. His job's probably one of the hardest. He's got a lot of daily tasks. See you, Pat. So Pat was part of the 97-98, the original winter over crew. They were up here for 9 months with I think 2 or 3 resupply flights, and they team of 4. They didn't have anything but the greenhouse and the big house and the generator shop at the time, which was a little bit different. Like I said, his job's pretty tough. He's got daily responsibilities. You can barely see it over there, but on the horizon is the stakes are marking out fuel bladders, and each of the fuel bladders, some are 5,000, some are 10,000 gallons. They're raised up on a little berm. When the C-130s, the Hercules aircraft planes, come in here, they stop next to that berm and they offload fuel into the bladders. And then we pump fuel out of those and we mix them. It's Jet A that we receive from the planes, and then we mix that with additives for the diesel generators. We go through about 100 gallons of fuel a day. So the farm tanks, which do the transferring, are 400 gallons. So just about every 4 days, he has to make a transfer. Again, I'm just kind of panning around, giving you a lay of the land. Again, remember that from the greenhouse, which is right there, back to the generator mod, which we just passed, there's a direct connection, a line insulated pipe that runs power and water. So that building has water. That's just a flip of a switch. So as I was saying, this is a walk. Take pretty much every day. It's the first thing you gotta do in the morning. Wake up, sleeping, everything's fine. I mean, all those parts of life are the same as you guys. You know, we wake up in a warm bed, but instead of putting on slippers and stumbling downstairs for a cup of coffee, we have to put on our 2 or 3 pairs of socks, liners, long underwear, pants, long underwear top, a couple jackets. Right now I'm wearing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 headpieces. I've got a face mask on, of course, and then I've got a nice windproof hat. And then over both of those, I have a balaclava that goes over my whole head. It gives me an additional face mask. And then over that, I have another hat. So, maybe that's only 4 pieces. Anyway, feels like 5, feels like more. That's the big house. Listen to the snow here. This is cool. See if I can walk out here and find a fern quake somewhere. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to show you the back of the big house, maybe one other thing over there, another food storage. Then we'll bring the camera in and let it warm up, maybe get some inside shots later on today. Oh, I miss you guys. I know you're all partying, having a great time. Wish I could be there to play some tunes with you. That'd be fun. But we'll have our time. Things are going really well here otherwise. So it's been a good experience. That's the back of the big house. And that little building on the left, which I'm going to walk into, used to be a little science atmospheric sampling box. And now it's referred to as the Freshie Shack. Still have a little bit of light, so I'll just poke in there quickly. Ugh. It's a tough walk to the fridge, huh? Anyway, that's just another food storage. This is kept at about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's basically a walk-in refrigerator. See a little heater down there. Well guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here for now. If I bring the camera in running, it'll hate me, so. Here we are, post-walk. And it's a chilly one, but it's not so bad. And we're doing well up here. Of course, we're all missing being home for the holidays, but there'll be plenty more of those who come.
Just gonna finish off with a few more shots of Summit. Hope you enjoy. See you guys soon. Bye.
Strange face with your eyes, so pale and sincere underneath, you know well, you have nothing to fear, for the dreams that came to you when so young told of a life where spring is sprung. You would seem so frail in the cold of the night when the armies of emotion go out to fight. But while the earth sinks to its grave, you sail to the sky on the crest of a wave. So forget this cruel world where I belong. I'll just sit and wait and sing my song. And if one day you should see me in the crowd, lend a hand and lift me to your place.